Hi everyone. Before I begin, let me say this clearly. I never planned to tell this story. I didn't go looking for it. I didn't research it. This story came to me. Or more accurately, someone called me late one night and forced it into my life. What you're about to hear is not something you listen to casually. This is one of those stories that stays with you long after the video ends. A story that makes you hesitate before stepping into an elevator. A story that makes you question how many floors really exist beneath your feet. The call came in March of 2025. It was just past 2 a.m. I almost didn't answer it. The number was from Ohio. No name. No voicemail left earlier. Just a silent missed call. When I picked up, the man on the other end didn't greet me. He didn't ask how I was. He just said, "I don't know who else to tell this to. If I don't tell someone, I think I'm going to lose my mind." His name was Daniel Harper. He worked as a maintenance technician at a mid-sized regional hospital in southern Ohio. I won't name the hospital. Not because I'm protecting them, but because Daniel begged me not to. He was afraid. Not of losing his job. Of what might happen if too many people started asking questions. Daniel had been working there for almost 11 years. He knew every corridor, every electrical panel, every elevator shaft. Hospitals never really sleep, he told me. Even at night, there's always movement. Nurses walking fast, machines humming, distant alarms, the constant artificial breathing of a building that refuses to rest. But starting in early March, something changed. It began with the elevator in the East Wing. Elevator E7. Staff joked about it before they feared it. It would pause between floors. Open too slowly. Close on its own. Nothing unusual for an old system. But then came the first incident. A nurse named Claire was finishing her shift around 3:10 a.m. She stepped into E7 on the 4th floor and pressed the button for the parking garage. The doors opened. But not to a floor. Claire described it as darkness that didn't behave like darkness should. Not empty. Not just unlit. It was thick. Like a solid absence. She couldn't see walls. She couldn't see the edge of the elevator. She felt cold air pouring in, carrying a smell she couldn't describe. Old. Damp. Wrong. She screamed and pressed every button. The doors closed. The elevator resumed movement. When it opened again, she was on the garage level. She quit 2 days later. Management dismissed it as stress. A malfunction. But Daniel told me the logs didn't match. According to the elevator system, 7 never stopped. It never opened between floors. No error recorded. Then it happened again. A janitor. Then a resident doctor. Same time window. Between 3 o'clock and 3:30 a.m. same report. Doors opening to nothing. Darkness swallowing sound. One person claimed they heard whispering. Not voices. More like breathing that wasn't theirs. Daniel was assigned to inspect the shaft. He went down alone. Flashlight. Toolkit. Radio. He said the shaft was normal until he reached below the lowest listed floor. According to the blueprints, the hospital had 6 underground levels. Parking, storage, utilities. But the shaft kept going. His flashlight beam didn't reach the bottom. And carved into the concrete wall, deep and deliberate, were markings. Not graffiti. Not numbers. Symbols. Repeated over and over. As if someone had been counting something that didn't want to be counted. Daniel stopped talking for a moment on the phone. When he spoke again, his voice was shaking. He told me the symbols matched something he'd seen later in an old maintenance archive. Plans that were never digitized. Plans for a level that officially didn't exist. And that was only the beginning. Daniel told me he didn't sleep that night after inspecting the shaft. He went home, but the smell from the elevator stayed with him. He described it like metal soaked in cold water for decades, mixed with something organic, like a hospital basement after a flood that was never properly cleaned. The next morning, he requested access to the old archives. Not the digital records. The physical ones. Blue binders, yellowed papers, files nobody touched anymore. What he found changed how he understood the building he had worked in for over a decade. In 1968, before the hospital expanded, there was a sublevel planned beneath the lowest utility floor. It was labeled simply as observation. No ward designation. No department name. Just observation. Construction notes mentioned reinforced walls, sound dampening, and independent power. Then, abruptly, the document stopped. No closure report. No demolition order. No explanation. The level vanished from all later plans. Daniel confronted his supervisor. The man laughed it off. Said old hospitals have rumors. But that same night, E7 went down for maintenance. Daniel stayed behind with security to monitor the cameras. At 3:17 a.m., the elevator descended on its own. No call button pressed. No scheduled test. The camera feed inside the elevator cut out as it passed below level B6. But the hallway camera outside captured something worse. The doors opened. And the darkness spilled out. Not like shadow. Like a thick fog that absorbed the light around it. The air temperature dropped. The audio picked up a low-frequency sound that made the security guard vomit. And then the doors closed. When the elevator returned, there was something scratched into the interior panel. Not words. The same symbols Daniel saw in the shaft. Over the next week, 3 patients reported dreams they shared details of without knowing each other. Elevators. Cold air. A voice asking them to step forward. One patient flatlined after screaming about the floor. That watches back. Hospital administration called it coincidence. Stress. Shared environment. But Daniel started noticing something else. The elevator buttons were changing. Sometimes, when no one was looking, a faint outline of an extra button appeared beneath the lowest floor. No label. Just a shallow circle in the metal. He never pressed it. But someone did. On March 22, a security trainee named Lucas entered E7 alone. Cameras recorded him looking confused. Looking down. Reaching forward. The elevator descended. It never came back up. The official report says Lucas quit without notice. Daniel told me that's a lie. His locker was still full. His car still in the lot. His phone found crushed inside the shaft, screen cracked from pressure, not impact. After that, the hospital sealed E7. Power cut. Doors welded shut. But the calls continued. Nurses hearing elevator chimes from behind the wall. Patients pressing call buttons that weren't there. One nurse swore she saw Lucas standing at the end of the corridor at night, smiling, asking her if she was ready to observe. Daniel's voice broke when he told me this. He said last week, during a power outage, the emergency lights flickered on. And for just a second, the outline of that extra elevator button appeared on every panel in the building. Then vanished. He quit the next day. He called me because he needed someone to know. Someone outside Ohio. Someone who would tell the story before it got buried. Before someone else stepped into that elevator. Before whatever is down there finishes counting. If this story disturbed you, if you felt that slow creeping fear while listening, then stay with me. Because this is not where it ends. In the next part, I'll tell you what Daniel found hidden behind the welded doors, what the symbols actually mean, and why the hospital's lowest floor was never meant to be sealed. If you don't want to miss what comes next, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Trust me, you'll want to hear the rest before the doors open again. If any such incident has happened with your relatives or friends that you know of, or if you have personally experienced something like this, you can send me an email at the address shown below, and the next video will be based on your email.